Welcome to the Sci-Fi Center, the place to be, where comic books and wrestling collide magically. Movies, TV shows, and pop culture we share. Get ready to rock, we're here to take you there. From superheroes to aliens in outer space, we've got the latest news and reviews in our embrace. Turn on your screen, let the neon lights glow. We'll take you back to the 80s. Let's rock and roll. Sci-Fi Center, where the legends come alive. Get ready to geek out, let your imagination fly. We're diving into the past with a touch of modern flair. Sci-Fi Center, the ultimate pop culture lair.
Happy Thursday. Let me get this right. Okay, so I got both screens up right now. There you go. So I got both the vertical screen up and I got the horizontal screen up. So there we go. Because I watched it a little bit just to see if there, because like I said, according to the numbers, a lot of you are watching that vertical stream. So I was gonna like go back to just having this, but a lot of you late night viewers are watching the vertical stream. So I guess there is advantages, especially if you are driving when you listen to us. And I get a lot of feedback that we do get a great many of our listeners that are driving while they're listening to the show. So, and a lot of them will have, if they don't have like satellite, whatever, or they'll use their phone and then they'll Bluetooth it into their phone, and that's where they go. So, I mean, hey, I aim to please, but now I'm centered so that I don't look completely ridiculous. Like before, I was like all off the screen and shit, but now this is what I'll do. So there you go. So, but it covers up my belts and stuff. But oh well, this is going away anyway. So it's best that if we're going to do a format change, we may as well be doing this while I eventually transfer or transition from here to there. Like I said, I just got another camera that I got in, and that'll be the other angle camera. But I'm really I'm taking a look at some of those cameras, those Sony cameras, those really nice ones that you see like the actual real streamers use. I want to get one of those for my primary straightaway camera for when I'm streaming here at the house. So happy Thursday. Or happy remaining Thursday. Welcome to the Mdnight Express. This is going to be a standard show. I will be on the air tomorrow afternoon around 4 or 5ish. I'm gonna try to do the bi-weekly every other Friday type stream just to talk to just to come up with stuff. Look at some new merchandise that may have came in on Friday. Give you guys a glimpse of the store, and then I'll probably if Film Junkie invites me, I'll be on Vodka stream. This Saturday we will be doing, and we'll be doing it for sure now. We will be doing Spinal Tap. The Spinal Tap 2. That'll be that per Quint's donation and request. So we will be getting that done. And then the return of our Saturday overnight. We will be doing a Saturday overnight show. Got a lot to talk about headed into the holidays. So, all right. As always, like, subscribe. For those of you who are watching on Twitter right now, right down below me, youtube.com/@the Sci-Fi Center. We love the fact that you're watching, period. I mean, I would rather have you viewing than not viewing at all, but the channel is based and built around the YouTube format, and it helps the channel out if you are indeed watching us from the mothership. All right, say hi to whoever the hell's here. I only watched one. I only watched half of Running Man. We had a special screening the other night, but I had to go. I couldn't stay, and so I'm going to be seeing it probably tomorrow afternoon. But I will get a chance to see it though. Some of the screenings I get there just to make sure when we have as many people as we sent to this particular screening, I don't like to leave it on the studio people. When we make up that percentage of the audience, I like to be there, but I could not stay. I had other places to be, and I knew I was going to go be able to see it later on. Hello, Koala. How are you doing? Thank you, Jose. I get a lot of comments on that. That is courtesy of Vince. Vince, he's he used to be on the show off and on, but he used to be he still does some work for me every now and then. But yeah, he created that video and that song for me. And thank you. I'll let them know how what you got there. Cowboy Baby Yoda. Here's a new one. I know I have not seen you here before, so welcome to the show. William, what the hell have you done? Okay. That's not something I did. I did not I don't control that on your end. I didn't create anything with the chat. Are you in the Yeah, I have not done. You're an admin, so you can control that as well. But I have not done anything with the chat. You sure it's something that is not on? Oh, you're talking about Elon. I thought you said William. What Elon? What the hell have you done with the chat? Yeah, and it's different too. It's everybody's changing everything. Just when I get comfortable, shit starts to change. StreamYard. I mean, give StreamYard credit. They are trying to improve and. According to, like I said, my metrics, people love this vertical format. What do you guys that are currently in the chat right now think about this vertical? I think it's kind of weird, but I'm the content creator. I'm not the viewer or listener. A lot of people are not watching us. I think like 30 or 40% of the people who actually tune into our show are doing other things while they're listening to us later on in the day, which is something I do. I listen to a lot of podcasts and a lot of YouTube shows, and I'm not there's no way I would be able to participate and listen to them if I sat down in front of them and not be able to get some of the stuff I get done. So this works apparently. So cool. I sent people to see that too. Believe it or not, I did not go to that one at all. Okay, the show's so good. I'm almost putting that. No. The whole point is that if you're on this and the way the screen is set up, guys, I wish I could show you, but I have I'm on two screens, and I did that tonight so that I could keep myself centered at all times, so that I'm not rolling back and forth. When we do the other studio, the chair will be lined up dead center for all formats, and it'll be set up to, and I'll have the camera set up to where no matter where you are, you don't get an off view of me. So that's why we're going to be doing that. But yeah, do not drive drunk. Aladdin, skibbity. I love your profile pics, Ziggy Stardust. Great David Bowie. I got to the duck before you did, Clint. Clint, we will be doing Spinal Tap this Saturday afternoon at 2 p.m. Movie Talk is practically dead on Blue Sky. At least with Twitter, you can make money off of it. I don't make any. Nobody cares about what I have to say. Chase Dual HD. How you doing, Chase? Yeah, I got you. I didn't read the comment thoroughly as I should have. Sorry. The chat should stay the same no matter what. Like if you have chosen the horizontal format, the chat should be the same as it's always been in the horizontal format. If you chose the vertical format, then it's going to be different. But if you're sitting at home right now, it's probably best that you do this way if this is what you're used to. I'm doing fine, Chase. I have no idea. I mean, I hear a lot of rumors. I know we're getting a trailer in December, according to somewhat trustworthy sources. So that once I don't know who's going to be in there, but I that's, you know what, that's as good a theory as any that's out there, because those are all going to be people that are in the movie. As I get closer to it, right now it's just a pile of stuff. It's just a pile of stuff. I still got to build the desk, and I want to build a custom desk that is not just what I'm sitting at right now. I want it to be, like I explained to you guys, I want it to be set up to look and feel like the Sci-Fi Center does. So there will be yellow behind me, there will be some stuff behind me, and there will be a wide angle shot. So when we start the show, you'll see my Funkos, the stuff that I bought over. My belts will be either behind me or they'll be front and lower, so that you can see them in the wide shot. And we'll go back and forth from wide shot to close-up shot, so that we can show you different things. And then, like I said last night, there will be an area to the left right here where I can stand and like do demonstrations and stuff. So that's what I'm working on. But right now it's just a bunch of unpainted wood, some equipment in boxes. But I'm getting to it. I'm getting to it. Now, here's one thing that is going to be weird, and I don't think I can fix it. This format, this vertical format, does not appear that it is designed for having a co-host, which is kind of weird, because now you actually, no, that's not bad. Yeah, because the other night it wasn't. We weren't. I think they're still working on it. To be honest with you, I think they're still beta this shit, because the other night when we were on the air together and we were in Florida, our heads were all fucked. I mean, more fucked up than they are now. Our heads were all jammed up. Now you're dead. You're sitting centered. So hey, that's not.
Yeah, I took the it's got the high vertical thing. I just hit that right away when I see that. It's like I don't need see us 4 times on screen. So
yeah, I had it just to orientate myself. I could probably take it off at this point. But when, like I said, when I move over to the new studio area over here, it won't matter, because where my seat is set up is going to be where the camera has the angle to accommodate both of this. So we'll be all right. Did you go see Running Man tonight?
I have not had a chance.
Okay. No. Like I said, I'm halfway. I saw, I was there for 40 minutes, but I wasn't really watching because we had so many people for that movie, and it was at a new place. We usually do AMC Town Square. This time we did Brendan Palms, which is weird. I was wondering why they pulled that one out of their ass. It's nice. It's closer to my house and all, but I had to go over there. A lot of people I had to make sure people, constantly posting, do not go to AMC, do not go to AMC, do not go to AMC. Because if AMC Town Square, if you guys haven't been to Vegas, it's a traffic trap. It's horrible. It's on the Strip. It's literally the southernmost point of the Strip. And there's only certain ways to get to it. It's nice. It's beautiful. And I love going there. But Brendan Palms is Palms is an off-strip casino. So a lot of people who don't live anywhere near there can get to some of those easier. So I just had to make sure. So yeah, I was kind of watching it, but I wasn't. It looks good though. From what I saw, I want to see the rest of it. Yeah, it's a bonkers fucking movie, dude. It's how do I compare it to what?
Yeah, I'm probably going to see it tomorrow. I'm to the Arnold movie. I'll probably go see it tomorrow night. The original.
Nothing. There are some Easter eggs in there, and I'm not going to say some shit because I don't even know if I consider them Easter eggs, but they are. I guess that's the only term I have for them. But this movie's just bonkers from like beginning to end. It is batshit crazy. Your head is going to hurt. Your neck is going to hurt because he's scaling shit. He's jumping off of shit. He's being thrown off of shit. He's flying shit. I mean, it's just like crazy.
It's like Tom Cruise's idea of Running Man, almost
much faster.
Really,
because he's literally, from when I'm watching it before I delete, he's literally hopping from one thing to the other. At least in Mission Impossible, he does his crazy shit, but he's not hopping into one calamity into the other all the time. This movie, he's literally like a video game. You finish one level, you don't even get time for your points to rack up. He's jumping into other shit, and I'm like, wow,
very fast pace.
bonkers ass movie. It was fun. I'm like, I wish I didn't have to go, but like I said,
Yeah,
I
I'm
was
checking.
that shit.
Again, it's like I seldom these days get out to the theater on Thursday nights, so we could probably try to give it a look at tomorrow night.
I'm a Coke guy, either Coke or Cherry Coke, but I've cut down on soda. In fact, to be honest with you, the only time I drink soda now is at the movie theaters. Even when I get fast food now, or when I get burgers or anything like that, I don't get. I have replaced soda with pretty much this and water, mostly water. So yeah, so but when I was at Badlands, I mostly got people bought me hot dogs and sodas and everything. So, cherry Coke or Dr Pepper is where I'm right in the middle of there. You're talking on the chat now. I don't quite. I think I'm missing what you're trying to tell me. Pick one so we can all talk on the same chat. Well, I don't know. So you're on both right now. I'm okay. So I have both screens up, Clint. You're on both. You're on the vertical and you're on the horizontal right now. I'm watching. I'm seeing your comment right here. When I bring up a comment here, I bring it. It's brought up in either chat, in either stream. It's the same stream. Let me know if you need me to clarify that. Yes, I have. This was a gross ass. This show was gross and it was depressing. I grew up. Okay, full disclosure, guys. I'm a Cold War kid, and that shit was all over the news. And you have to realize when you grow up on an Air Force base or any type of military installation, how reality is filtered to you is different than a civilian. You grow up with different terminologies and you grow up with a different sense of awareness when you are living on what is essentially a target. Every base in America, strategic Air Force base or strategic Army base or missile command base, is a target, no matter how small. Because we were in a cargo base. Norton Air Force Base is a cargo base, and if you can't move your cargo, you can't really fulfill a war effort. But I remember because my dad would watch it. Because once again, when you're a senior CO in the military officer or anything like that, you tend to watch these global events. And obviously, on TV, I'm watching it. And then our teacher was a veteran too, and he had it up on the TV. You know how back in the day, you fucking kids, back in the day, we had to go get down the hall. Two of us had to go down the hall and roll this ginormous tube TV with that big that metal crate, which you had the belt that was stuck to it, and PBS, and a lot of the free, UHF network will show the live news feed all the time. And we were watching it. I mean, you were watching Chernobyl melt down because at the time, we thought it was going to get worse. It was bad. It was, birds and shit were dying. There was like toxic clouds flying every day. I mean, Russia really fucked up everything. And they fucked up Ukraine too. And they had to, right now, that thing is still
they fucked it up again.
Yeah, but then they did it with war. And then they actually, during the war, this is how dumb they are. The war, they're shooting missiles near Chernobyl. If you crack that dome, it's going to be bad for everybody, including Russia. But yeah, I saw it from the news. We were watching that like as it happened. There's a lot of shit that happened in 1986. You had that happen. You had Challenger. I watched the Challenger explode live. I'll never forget. We're in January 2016. I watched the Challenger because as kids, the space program was big when you were a kid. In the 80s, it's all it was the closest thing to real science fiction we had. So every school in America was watching the space shuttle. I mean, I watched Columbia when I was in first grade. I watched the Columbia, the very first one, and that was big. We got to write letters to the astronauts, and they would, I know they weren't writing us back, in real life, but we got the little thing. It was signed to our class. I'll never forget that stuff. Same thing with the president when Reagan was shot. We actually wrote letters to the White House, and the White House sent the letter to all of us back. But yeah, I was watching a lot of the stuff we were watching live because these were big news events. So yeah, I lived it now. And when I saw that TV show, I realized that I really didn't need to watch that show. Some of the things that they never, because remember, this was during the Soviet Union. Not a lot of information got out, and that was one of the biggest problems that we had with the Russians. Then they had created this global calamity that really put a lot of people in danger, and they weren't being forthcoming with the info about it. And a lot of that stuff you see in Chernobyl, they kept that shit tight forever, even until after the 90s. You didn't start finding out just how bad, the general public didn't find out just how bad Chernobyl was until after the Berlin Wall fell. And a lot of those, like the Ukraine, it happened in Ukraine. So a lot of their files and a lot of their people started talking once the Soviet Union broke up. But watching that show and watching people's faces start to melt, people throwing up, that show was so depressing. It was depressing to watch, and it was very vivid, and it was very gross. I mean, one of the main characters, you watch him deteriorate throughout the show. And it's not a horror thing. That's what's really happening to that guy. And then all you need to do is, if you want to see how bad Chernobyl was, go to Chernobyl on Wikipedia, the actual TV series site, and click on the people that they portrayed and see how many of those people are alive and how they died. Yeah, that show was something else, man. That show deserved every accolade that it got.
I've got the Wikipedia page for Running Man 25 up right now. This introductory paragraph to the plot summary is so perfect. This is like, there's no way you can't read this and like not just like, okay, let me read it real quick. It's just the opening paragraph. I'm not gonna read the whole thing. So under the plot section of the Running Man 2025, in the near future, the United States is a dystopian police state ruled by corporate media networks, where most people live in poverty with little access to healthcare. People are kept pacified by Freevee, which bombards the population with trashy reality shows. Finally. Yes.
Well, the original one,
this is totally something that could never happen.
The book actually takes place in 2025.
Yeah,
and
I just love the wording of that, because it's like, oh yeah, there's no way that could ever happen, right?
Yeah, and it was supposed to be fiction, just like 1984 wasn't supposed to be a playbook. It was supposed to be fiction. How will Professor X even be able to combat Sentry Kenny in the comics? Professor X is the world's most powerful psychic. I mean, I'm pretty sure you could write a story to where he would be able to fight. Remember, Sentry is not invincible. He has flaws. His flaws built into his character. That's the point of his character. And his flaws are mental. So yeah, he could be taken advantage in that respect.
You got any thought? I guess fourth kind of comment on here, and so it was a skeptic. Yeah, we got the official. I don't know if I need necessarily call this like breaking news, because I think everyone was just kind of really, most people I think were just
I'm not even I'm waiting. I saw that, and I saw the sources, and I'm like, I want that to be the case, but I don't believe any of those sources yet. That's why I didn't bring it up, because some of those sources are not even 40. They're not even 40% right half the time. So it's like, I'm pretty sure if it's true, then a conglomeration of actual legit people, maybe even James Gunn himself, since he's executive producing it, will bring it up. But right now, I've been hearing Brainiac's going to be in Superman my entire, movie going life, including in Superman period. They've been trying to put Brainiac in Superman since the 70s, and it just never they made.
Well, I mean, the
Kryptonians.
That's why we got the not.
That's not that Superman.
I'm not saying it's good. I'm just saying that it was.
No, it's no connection. There's no connection to that.
No, they did want Brainiac in Superman 3, and they got to give us a piss poor supercomputer instead.
No, they did that. What they gave you in Superman 3 was what they meant to give you. They were not trying to sidestep Brainiac. They just didn't want to use him. There's no remnants.
Well, it's just like Bizarro's sort of in that movie. It's like
no. You have to understand, Brad.
Fight,
They don't do that. They may not do it right, but they don't do what you're saying. And the reason why, they own those characters. If they want to use those characters, there's nothing stopping them from using those characters. There's nothing, even under the worst case scenarios, for them to do something as stupid as they did in Superman 3 and have that connected to Brainiac. They could have used Brainiac, no problem. There was nothing stopping them. They just didn't want to. You have corporate suits at that time who basically picked the most familiar thing. They picked the most familiar thing. When it came to Warner Brothers and all the way up until almost recently, the last decade and a half, the people who invest the money don't want characters that the general public don't know. And every comic book head, including myself, knows who Brainiac is, understands the impact of Brainiac. But Joe Average, you could have came out with a giant poster of Brainiac to the average fan, and they would have, they wouldn't have known who he was. So the people funding the movies were never going to do that. That's why in all the Superman stuff, you either got really bad enemies that nobody knew because they were made up, or you got the classic fucking Lex Luthor all the time. Same thing with the Batman movie. Who'd you get in the first Batman movie? You got his most famous villain, and then once he was gone, you got some of his more famous villains, but you didn't get any of Batman's obscure villains. You didn't get any of that stuff. So no, if they wanted to do, they had no intentions on doing Brainiac in Superman 3. They did what they wanted to do. It was a poor decision, but until I see James Gunn say Brainiac is the villain for this movie, then I'm not going to believe it. Unless it's Saffron, or unless it's somebody who's been casted. It's like, say it's Brad Kern's casted as Brainiac. I can't wait to see you guys in 2020. That's something like that. But I've been chasing my tail with Brainiac too long I want to make sure it's official. I want it to be that.
You know where they had a lot of Brainiac? They had him on Superman the Animated Series. He was actually part of the integrated. And you know where else they had him a lot? You know where else they had him a lot?
Shows. Okay, and this is not me. Don't start with me. You guys who will defend.
And they had him on cartoon too.
And I like
TV a lot.
Guess
He's
what,
on
guys?
TV a lot.
Guess what? Total combine all those audience together, they wouldn't make up 1/10 of the general audience. And I'm being generous. Nobody watched Krypton. The amount of people who watch the animated series are not anywhere near the proportions that you would need to risk that on the big screen. And Smallville was on the CW. So without making fun of anything, and I'm not just, let's be realistic about when you put something on the big screen, that's the big time. That's where most people are going to see it for the first time. All right, not on a kids cartoon. All right, not on a channel, on a dying channel. It's just not where it's going to be on the big screen. That's just reality. So I'm still waiting for, and I loved Krypton. I thought Krypton got shortchanged, but I also knew realistically on that particular channel that was moving away. No, that was on Sci-Fi Channel.
Yeah,
almost a worse scenario. To be honest with you, at least I didn't buy into what the CW was doing, but at least they didn't give up on their identity as a channel. They just didn't have one. The Sci-Fi Network gave up on their identity. And it was right in the middle of when Krypton, they decided that they didn't want to be sci-fi anymore. They wanted to be something else. They went from Sci-Fridays, which was one of the best nights for a geek. I mean, at one point, listen to the lineup on Friday nights. This is just they conquered a landscape in the mid to late 2000s and early 2010s that network TV had given up on. They made it rock. They made it worth it. They had Doctor Strange. I'm sorry. No, they did not. Doctor Who. The fuck am I thinking about Doctor Who? Strange. Never mind. That Doctor Who. Battlestar Galactica. What else did they have? Dude, they had like a full-on lineup. I pulled it up one of these days because I said the death of sci-fi.
Yeah, but again, the point is that Brainiac he's been confined to TV.
Yeah,
so
because
long. And he's had a couple
there's no risk there.
He's had a couple false starts movie-wise, and I mean,
there's been no false starts. There's been no false starts.
There was a treatment they for
where
for Superman 3. It's like, and this went on. This made it online. I have to read it from it. On the Wikipedia for it. So this is under production on Superman 3. So Richard Donner confirmed that he had been interested in writing at least 2 more Superman films, which he intended Tom Did
they make it
use Brainiac as the villain of the 3rd film?
Which
Donner
we did
departed
not
the series during the production of Superman 2.
Okay.
It was announced in December 1980. Producer Ilya Salkind wrote a treatment for the film that included Brainiac, Mr. Mxyzptlk, and Supergirl. The treatment was released online in 2007.
Okay.
And that's got a whole bunch of like what their roles were going to be.
Point being, guys, where it matters, and I'm sorry if I'm hurting your feelings, where it matters, we haven't had a Brainiac. Where it can draw the biggest audience out there, We know where that's going to be. We know where that's going to be. Where it matters, where it is relevant big time. Not whether you liked it or not.
And we froze.
All right. We haven't had Brandon.
You froze there, man.
I know. I saw it zipping. It lets me know. So when James Gunn or whoever gives us Brainiac, it's going to be for the first time on that scale. And right now, I'll be honest with you, that's the scale that matters. If that's where your prestige is going to be, yeah, we're going to have these TV shows and we're having fun with those. But the majority, the overall DCU audience, same thing with Marvel, by the way, they aren't watching this other branch out shit. They're not watching. Some of them are watching everything, but a lot of them are not watching. Not a lot of people aren't going to watch Wonder Man. Ironheart was roadkill, basically. What are they watching? Where's the MCU's heart at? Where's the MCU's engine at? It's on the big screen. So really, if it hasn't happened there, it's gonna head there. Everything ends up on the big screen, even with Daredevil, even with the Punisher. Eventually, everything, that's where it matters. These was almost gonna do, or it looks like, or none of that shit matters because nobody was watching that stuff. Those numbers are there for you to look at. You can argue with me. You want to argue with math? Go ahead. So, bottom line, we haven't had a proper Brainiac on something that anybody watched en masse for it to matter. And that's undisputed. So, I will wait until James Gunn or somebody, that's in the know says it, because I want that to be the case. I thought, much as I love BVS, some of the decision making in BVS, I thought was not the best. And I know I'm going to have Zack Snyder coming after me, and I'm like, okay, fine, that's fine.
He froze again. Okay, while we're waiting for William. Okay,
I'm back. Yeah. It's not me, it's StreamYard. It's not even my internet. Everything that you could have done, and maybe you could have done with Brainiac, and I thought it would have been a better movie. We could have seen him then. There's been decades that we could have seen Brainiac, but people don't want to go with Brainiac. People want to go with the headliners. They want to go with the one that Tom, Dick, and Harry knows, and that's good. I guess that's good business, but story-wise, Brainiac's one of Superman's deadliest enemies. Brainiac can bring about his death. Anything that you think that any villain that Superman has ever had can do, Brainiac can do it. And the fact that we haven't seen a Brainiac where it matters, where it on the highest form, to me, that's fucking astonishing. But maybe we'll get him now. But be honest with you, when it comes to Superman World Tomorrow, how did we even start talking about that?
That was mentioned that the news that Brainiac's to be the main villain that Superman Lex Luthor are going to team up with, or team up against.
News reported by
pretty big faux pas. It's like, you got that wrong, and like, you're reporting on this. I'd be like,
it's a rumor. It's a rumor. It's all it is a rumor. It's a rumor for a movie that may as well be 2,000 years away right now. I am not thinking about Superman Man of Tomorrow. I am not remotely close to thinking about that movie. I'm barely thinking about Supergirl, and I'm looking forward to that. You know what I was looking forward to? Still am. Lanterns.
What you may be seeing after Supergirl.
Which fucking pisses me off if that's the case. I still haven't heard that officially from anybody.
Not our call, though. I mean, that's how they,
Yeah, I mean, I think that's I'm not on board with that, because I don't like these gaps in momentum. You're building something, and you need to build the momentum along with the product. I think that's
interesting. Could Lex become the physical?
He could be possessed. Yeah, and that's what I was thinking about, Mighty Rex. Instead of if you wanted to, you could have had Darkseid and Lex in there.
Well, yeah,
you could have had Darkseid working for Lex.
You could have. I think it's just a while back that he might be possessing the mind of Rick Flag or something. Like it was
That
horrible.
yeah, that could be what happens. And if that's the case,
Why he
I
does
would
this
have
like
rather
left
seen it.
turn from
Yeah, because he's evil as fuck. And you could be using that place where he's at. What's the fuck it's called?
Salvation.
Salvation as like a Candor type of situation. I'm just throwing shit out there, but
Mm.
I've been ready for bringing back my entire fucking childhood life
Right,
in
yeah.
my entire
No,
job. I'm ready.
it's not confirmed, but it's up in the air still.
Yeah, it's been out there, but I haven't heard anything official from someone official. That's when I start getting like, all right, well,
There's no date for Lanterns of the movie. It's just other than just generally 2026.
I got a bad feeling that might be true, even though I haven't heard it from people that actually believe. Is because where's my trailer?
That is true, yeah. Because
Where's my trailer? Because
if it's out in February, you would think we'd have a trailer. If not this month, at least by next.
Yeah, and the fact that I haven't had anything on this with them, I'm tired of looking at that picture.
That's the
With
same
them
thing I thought
standing
about.
on the road.
Oh, it's the same thing I thought about Creature Commandos for the longest time. With that one image of like all the characters for Creature Commandos, like show us something that was hovering around for what, like 2 years after we first saw that.
But this
And
is
we
Lantern.
finally
This
saw
is
any
this
footage.
is this is your this is when Mike
Show them in uniform. Show them like making constructs from their Power Rangers.
Show me a ring. Show me a hand with a ring. Show me. I cannot wait for this, and now I'm waiting for this, which sucks because not only do I have to wait for this, what have I got to talk about when it comes to DCU? And the problem with not having when you have gaps like this, when you don't have something to talk about, never fucking fails. People start talking about the dumbest shit. They start creating. They start putting their then they start putting on their foil hats, and I'm like, okay, this is where we are with again with that. And I really, if I ever meet anybody executive wise, as far as that is involved with DC, that show's you got to turn that show around, guys. That show has so much potential to fill in these gaps and to keep the momentum going right now. And that show's just not doing it for me. I had such high hope for that show.
It definitely could use a tune-up, Aaron.
I wasn't a big fan of how they marketed Superman. Well, Superman did all this money. You guys are all wrong. No, we weren't. You could always do better.
I know Rachel. That's why I was laughing. He sent me a DM. I'm gonna pull this up because this is pretty funny.
I thought Superman should have been marketed as if you were marketing the entire brand of DC, not just a movie. And yeah, you made money. Okay, could you have made more? Why, if it were marketed better, could we have gone 750 maybe? If we spent the time from the Super Bowl to that point, to getting people, greasing his kids. I don't know. I wasn't a big fan, regardless of the outcome and how the numbers turned out and how they, it was deemed successful. I'm still not a fan of that, because the reason why I'm not a fan of it, if I'm wanting a movie to be successful, is because you playing. It's a risky game. The general audience and it has been being fed these movies in this way for so long that the mind is conditioned to intake these things. And I just don't like messing around with that formula. It's just if it's not broke, why fix it?
Here's a Rational sent me. This is pretty funny. Come up. There it goes. So, as Film Junk would say, exclusivo. In a plot twist straight out of the Matrix, the real conglomerate sci-fi center clinched a blockbuster $75 billion deal to acquire Warner Brothers Discovery.
Boy, I wish I had the money. I wish
Sci-fi center. If we get Warner Brothers Discovery, we get DC. You better believe there's going to be some changes made. You better believe it.
Hold on. You go. Thank you for the $2 super chat, Rascal Scott. Live stream yourself building the studio, monetize everything. I might film some of it. Depends on how it looks. I mean, that's not going to be something pretty. There may be stages that look presentable that I might do. Sorry to hear about the passing of your.
Sorry about that.
Just a Manson. I'm assuming that this is something serious. I mean, I can't tell that this is something serious that happened to your pets, and I'm an animal lover, so sorry if that happened to your dog.
Williams Saturday is going to be a rainy day in Vegas.
Light rain. We just had some right now.
I mean, not like hopefully not like last year where you had like Noah's Ark like floating right past you.
Yeah, just like a couple of weeks ago. Like I said, if any of you watch this show for any amount of time, you know I have no fucking use for the rain. I'm done with the rain here. I came to the desert. I did not come to. I didn't. I'm not in Portlandia. This town wasn't built for it. It destroys, things I got to pay for and rebuild and drain out. And neither place that I'm in, either this place or that place is designed. No place in Vegas was designed for the kind of rain we've been getting lately. Today, over the weekend, most of the storm I've been tracking because I now have to become a weatherman now because when I don't equate rain to relief or anything good. I equate rain to damage. That's all rain is to me. I don't give a fuck about anything else. All rain is to me is damage. All right, so I have no use for it here. I mean, if I need water, guess what? We've been in a drought since I've been to Vegas, and I have not gone without water yet. And so, we'll figure it out.
Lanterns ad for the Super Bowl. Yeah, that would be good. But then that implies because the Super Bowl is usually February now.
It's been in February for about 20 years.
Yeah, so if the first trailer's in the Super Bowl, then I wouldn't expect to see lanterns till like May at the earliest.
Going back to this one of the things when it comes to the studio and everything else, that part of the house and the office had to be repaired because of water. And then obviously I don't think I've shown you guys the buckets that fill up on the side of the train. So yeah, I could give a fuck if it ever rained here again. Sorry for those of you who are having your hands out waiting, doing your rain dance. Don't care. So yeah, but I'm watching. The storm is going to be in California. They're going to get 2 inches of rain. That's where the storm front is. We're going to get the carryover of that, but there's a high pressure system that's not going to make it as hard. I have done some patching in both areas. I can't patch the other roof because it's an area I can't get to. But every time I see rain in the forecast, it's like literally somebody shitting down my throat. That's the equivalent of rain does for me here in Vegas. Lanterns after Super Bowl. You don't have to be in May to do. Fucking Cloverfield Paradox had a Super Bowl commercial, and they were letting you know that day that it was airing that night. So I mean, it doesn't have to.
That was
May.
like the most rushed marketing ever for it.
And they looked at it and they didn't like it. That's what would happen. William, I think it's better to just disable the vertical mode. 2 of the same streams will just confuse and annoy audiences. Well, I can't disable it now because the stream is running, and I haven't heard enough from enough people because people are still finding the stream, and there's actually more people watching now because of that. So I got to look at it. I didn't get that. It was fun. I mean, I didn't see it. I didn't feel it terrible. We now do after 40-something minutes. What does it go south? I don't know. I can't tell you until I see the movie. Mark Lemonade, like Commode. I don't know.
Mark Commode. He's I think he's with the BBC.
Okay, never heard of the guy.
British critic. Yeah. Have you seen the trailer for Fallout Season 2? I've seen it floating around. I haven't watched it yet though.
I'm just looking. That's just you typing shit.
Really though, this is Jimmy Olsen series. Like I'm like, what? I think
he had his own comic that lasted almost 300 issues. Why wouldn't?
Yeah, but that was what in the 60s,
70s.
I mean, like really, like this is something I was talking about on social. I was like, I think one through line through all the reactions to Superman, like just about everybody, like wherever they kind of fell in the spectrum of opinion on it. One constant I remember seeing throughout all the reactions, just about everybody loved Mr. Terrific, and there was like talk of him getting a spin-off show. I'm like, do that. Come on, I want to hear it.
Mr. Terrific. I mean, Jimmy Olsen. Here's the thing. He's gonna go with the law with the percentages. Yeah, people like Mr. Terrific in your $650 million movie. Every man, woman, and child knows that inner circle of Superman. You're gonna get an audience there. There's not anybody who knows what a Superman is that doesn't know who Lois Lane and Jimmy Olsen are. There's nobody.
Yeah, but he can headline his own show though.
Why wouldn't he?
I mean, what is this going to be? Is it gonna
He's
be
he's not the headline of the franchise. He's a support show. So it's not just like he was a support comic. Nothing hinges on his show. It's just another way to tell a story.
I don't know. It's like I think that could go either way.
If it's just a show, it just doesn't matter. It's not like you're spending.
And Aaron's, again, it's like I have to keep repeating
that
we
do not need
a DNA test, guys. We think the same thoughts at the same time.
And half the time you both are wrong at the same time. But once again, nobody on this screen or in this chat is qualified to really determine that. We're not the storyteller. You can guess, but what is our guess based on? You have a filmmaker and an executive producer that's been doing it for 30 to 35 years, and you have us.
Okay,
I wouldn't even bet on me.
So where's the data that Jimmy Olsen show is going to be a breakout hit?
Superman.
How is that data that a Jimmy Olsen show is going to be a breakout?
Because you had success with your core IP. You can now go the same way you do any franchise. You start with the core IP if you know what you're doing. I don't expect fans to understand this. I expect fans to say dumb shit. I'm sorry. We say dumb shit because there's no consequences to us saying this is gonna flop. This is gonna do that. I don't think nobody gives a fuck. We have $0.00 bet on this, and
that doesn't make it a good business decision.
Even less experience. I have not made a film. I have not budgeted a film. I've not ever taken a risk on a film. So,
but that doesn't make it a good business decision.
How would you know that?
It doesn't make it a good bit just because you can throw.
No. I'm asking a serious question.
30 plus years of this. That doesn't make it smart.
You know that
that's irrelevant to the question of
that is the question.
It's completely irrelevant to the question.
That's
question
like you standing out on the tarmac
is Jimmy Olsen the best?
How space
shuttle going to centered on him is the best step to go after Superman.
That's you're based on your wide experience.
What is the basis to say let's give him a solo show? That's the best spinoff to come out of this.
That's the story. I
can even see Lois Lane as one centered on her. That's the best one as far as
that's
supporting.
There's
character.
no more or less.
There's tons more.
In your opinion,
Lois Lane is inseparable.
In your opinion,
Lois Lane is that's established. That's indisputable.
No, it's not. Are you telling the story? That's
irrelevant.
It is.
That's completely irrelevant. Lois Lane. Nobody could dispute that Lois Lane is inseparable.
We're going to let the professionals do what they get paid to do. Everybody else,
this is beyond dispute that Lois Lane is inseparable from Superman. Inseparable from Superman.
Okay. In your mind, sure.
That's not in my mind. That's 80 years of Superman history.
That you realize Jimmy Olsen has been around exactly the same amount of time.
And Superman married to Jimmy Olsen?
Huh?
Is Superman married to Jimmy Olsen?
You're using fanboy rationale.
Done without Jimmy Olsen successfully.
You're using fanboy rationale that just
literally. I can sit here. Superman's been done without Jimmy Olsen.
Let's move on. Guys, when you don't have a basis,
he's barely in Superman and Lois until the very end. He gets killed in BBS.
When
there are movies that he hasn't been in.
I need you guys to go to your mirror. If you don't know what the fuck you're talking about, it's okay. Remember, I said it's okay to not know.
But this isn't an instance of that. This is absolutely not.
This is your opinion.
This is absolutely positively not an instance of that.
Yeah, it is.
Zero. No,
this is like the
Lois Lane.
All right, we got
Superman. Inseparable from Superman. Jimmy Olsen.
When they put your name, you froze.
That's irrelevant to this. That's completely irrelevant.
When they put your name,
utterly irrelevant.
When they put your name on the door of DC,
but that's
Studios,
irrelevant. That's completely irrelevant. It doesn't. That is not the conversation. Which character?
No, you're
more associated with Superman.
Whatever.
Is it Lois Lane or Jimmy Olsen?
Who the fuck are you to decide that? I'm not even going to decide that. I'm not even the one to decide that.
Who did he marry?
The fuck? What? Stop it.
Who,
No, I
who's he
think you're
married
just
to?
trolling me. I got trolls in the chat.
Who's had her name in the 2 shows that he's been in? No, this is definitely not. This is so apples and oranges, Droga.
All right, guys. Like I said, it's okay.
Yeah, but
If
this
you
is
have
not
a
an instance of
basis,
that.
yes, it is. You're basing your
This is
opinion on literally
completely
bullshit.
irrelevant.
You're literally
Which
planting
character
your flag.
is the more
You're
associated with Superman?
planting your
Is it Lois
narrative
Lane? Is it
flag
Jimmy Olsen? Who
in a
married
stack
Lois?
of
Who
bullshit.
married Superman? Who is the one that's like day one? Every single iteration of Superman does not
What the fuck
have
does that matter?
Lois Lane.
Okay, hey, here's the reality. Here's the
There are
reality.
plenty of times.
Hold on. Time
Jimmy
out. Here's the reality. You ain't James Gunn.
That's irrelevant.
Is it? Are you telling the story?
Completely irrelevant.
Is
It's
it your story?
80 years of history. Which character is the
All right.
one that has the more?
This is when they say fans
Superman.
do the most damage.
But this isn't an
When
instance.
fans don't, this is a very good instance.
Is
When
observable.
we fans don't know our
reality.
place in the order, things get fucked up.
But this isn't an instance.
When
of
we
that.
fans
This
start
is
to
in no way an
outthink,
instance of that.
when Brad the journalist, who I give him all the credit for, tries to outthink the filmmaker, that's
This
like
isn't
a
trying.
bull
This
and
is
an
succeeding.
ant. This is a bull and going up against a fucking rat.
This isn't trying. This is succeeding.
This is not seeding.
This is thoroughly succeeding. Which character
it's fucking
is
up
the
the show,
character is inseparable from Superman? Who's the one who's the most positioned to do a spinoff? It's Lois Lane, not Jimmy Olsen. Jimmy Olsen, there have been plenty of instances where we've done Superman stuff without him.
We don't
Lois
know.
Lane, you cannot do a Superman
I'm
anything
ignoring
without
Brad
Lois.
because he's not saying
You
anything relevant.
can't do a Lois Lane or Superman anything
when there's a tie and there's not a tie, we're fucking buffoons thinking that we know what this guy's doing and thinking about. But what have I always said? Let the storyteller tell a story. If you don't want to watch it, don't watch it. That's where you come in. That is your lot. That is your worth in this. That is your role in this. Let the storyteller tell a story. Their story. And if you don't like it, don't watch it. That's it. It's real fucking simple.
I mean, again, who did Superman marry?
Don't watch the show, Brad. Don't watch it.
This is not the Penguin. Jimmy is not a Superman villain.
When it comes out, that is when you get your say, and you just don't watch it.
Yeah, the hell I do. I get my say right now.
No, nobody fucking cares, dude. Right? I don't watch it. I am going to give it a benefit of the doubt that it is part, just like Jimmy Olsen's been part of the Superman narrative since Superman has been in existence. I mean, he literally Superman's power. Jimmy Olsen is where one of the most powerful DC villains made his first appearance. Darkseid appears in a Jimmy Olsen comic. Wherever Jimmy Olsen fits in James Gunn's storyline is where he fits. Now, if he does it and I decide, okay, well, there's just not enough here for me to watch it, then I'm fine. I just don't watch it. I'm not going to second guess why Jimmy Olsen over Lois Lane. It's not my fucking story. I throw my hat in the ring when I'm like, you know what, this sucks. I'm not watching it anymore. I'm not feeling this. That's where I'm at with it. But right now, watched
which character has had their name in 2 Superman shows, and which has not?
Why would James Gunn give a fuck about any of that if he's trying to tell his story?
Who is the more?
Is James Gunn sharing script with you? Do you have insight of his what he's?
That's irrelevant.
Okay, you can't say that's irrelevant, and just because your opinion is.
It's not an opinion. It's a matter of which character is more joined at the hip with Superman.
How you doing, Antonio Baker? What's going on? I don't know what's going on with the Arkham series, no, they turned it into something else. It's still happening. It's just not called Arkham anymore. It's called it's Gotham PD. In fact, it got rolled into Gotham PD. Let's see. All right, guys, I got to be up early, and I don't think I can always tell when it's time to wrap up the show when we spend that much time on something like that. that's the show telling me it's time to go. Time to go get my food. And no, the Arkham thing, from what I can tell, got merged with Gotham PD, and that's where the whole Gotham crime story for Matt Reeves' universe was coming from. But but it got rolled up into that. So that's what happened. The idea evolved. We're not betting on this, by the way. Nobody wins any money on it, and you don't get a prize for. You're right.
Oh, thank
What can I tell you, man? I mean,
I bet that's fourth. Gotham on Fox was. Kind of was, yeah.
I haven't. Be honest with you guys, I don't care. I haven't kept up on it. Last I heard, it got merged. You know what? I'm not to be rude. I don't care about these in development things until they actually start rolling. Because for all we know, this may not happen. I don't care about GCPD right now. I don't care about Arkham right now. I care about the shit that's coming out soon. I'm struggling to care about Supergirl. And the only reason I do, because it's based on a story that I really enjoy. But that's July. I'm in fucking November. These things that are on the whiteboard that might get wiped away, I'm not keeping track of those. I'm not that kind of show. I don't, I thought I was keeping track of something that was coming out relatively soon in Lanterns. Now it's not. So if you notice, you don't see a lot of in development shit on the show because I don't care. I will care as it starts to become real. As it becomes, it's not a rumor, and it becomes, we got cameras on actors and actresses and pre-production and all that. That's when I start caring. That's where I was carrying with Green Lantern or Lanterns. We handled Superman the same way. You guys wanted me to start talking to Superman 2 years before the movie was coming out. And as we got inside of a year, that's where we sort of ramped it up. But yeah, that's a problem that I'm going to have with the DCU. I don't care about the projects rumored to be in development or I don't care until you put camera in, actor and actress in front of camera, and I start seeing trailers, I start seeing stills, I start seeing things like this, I start seeing people casted in it for real, actually on their Twitter or on their Instagram saying, "I'm so happy to be so." Then I don't fucking care, because what am I going to talk about Arkham for the next night? When is it even happening? If I got to wait for Lanterns until the fucking summer, who the fuck knows when Arkham is happening? Same thing with Clayface. The more I start seeing about Clayface, the closer I start getting to Clayface, the more I start caring about Clayface. But what we've done is we take things and we choke it and break the vertebrae and choke the life out of the conversation. I'm just not ready to talk about or care about any of these things. So forgive me if my details are not clear on those. I'm telling you right now, Arkham is so far off my radar right now, it may as well be in another solar system. Or GCPE, whatever it is, it may as well be in outer fucking space right now, because that's as close as it is. That's as close as it is to happening. We got shit that's like done that I gotta wait till the summer for. We're not even in the winter yet. We're still in the fall of the previous year. So yeah, sorry guys, I'm just not that enthusiastic about it. I might have to start giving this stuff to Superman treatment, because like I said, what would have happened? We'd have ruined this channel running Superman into the ground for 24 months. I could barely do it for the time that we needed to. And I was promoting that movie. So yeah, we'll wait. Let's put a moratorium on any of this shit that they're doing until they actually start doing it. I don't do rumors, guys. I don't care about rumors, because most of the rumors are bullshit and they come from people who are full of shit. It gets clicks. As soon as I see some of these things that are based on, you can see things coming together with some credibility, and you can start seeing a pattern of credibility, then we'll talk. Right now, most of the stuff that's popping up on the screen it's just somebody said, somebody heard, cosmic. I mean, some of these websites that have had a history of just putting stuff out there, or is where some of the stuff is coming from. I'm just not ready to invest any time in any of that stuff yet till I hear it from the horse's mouth or somebody who's at least in the damn stable with them. We haven't had that yet. And they need to up the game, by the way. They need to do better by that, by the way. Like I said years ago, when he first came along, I should not be getting my news from rumors. I should not be formulating my opinion about any of this stuff from rumors and blogs and somebody else's podcast and people who are 35 degrees of separation from it. I should be getting that from James Gunn or DC, period. I should be getting that from them. I shouldn't be having to guess when and what and where. And withholding all this information, if you think that we don't want to put it out there until so, okay, great. Put something out there. Put something out there. Otherwise, look what we got. We got, he hasn't announced. I shouldn't. Why would I care about a rumor about Brainiac unless I hear it from the guy who's writing the movie about the movie Brainiac? Hell, Safran, who I don't really give two shits about. He's executive producer. He's part of the lexicon. Because if I don't get Brainiac in Superman, and after all this buildup, and that information didn't come from anywhere that was, stable, now I'll be mad. I'm being mad as I am about fucking Lanterns until September. So I got another season of 110-degree heat before I get Lanterns. Not too happy about that. Let's see. Yeah, I'm sure when Gotham PD or whatever its form it comes out, I'm gonna love it. But we're nowhere near that right now. We don't. Yeah, we're not anywhere near that. Yeah, I mean, and in the interim, I don't want to hear about your concept or your in development shit. I want to hear about your shit. I want to hear about what's going on now. It's just, damn. Well, I just watched a video saying the Joker was the last movie for the peak of superhero craze before it slowly went downhill. Crazy thing. I don't agree with that, Sonov. I just think if you'd have made a good Joker 2, we wouldn't be having this conversation. If you would have continued the momentum and the tone of the Joker that did very well, and you would have grown with that movie and done things that were logically next to that movie, I don't think we would be talking about superhero. See, we only talk about superhero fatigue when there's bad movies out or when the movies are underwhelming or when there's enough movies that have been released to where a good one has a hard time getting up the mountain because people are like, ooh, Captain America, Brave New World. How do I feel about Fantastic Four, which was a movie you should have seen? But you blew your wad. You spent your money on a disjointed Captain America movie that wasn't very good, in my opinion. That stuff kind of takes the wind from you beneath your wings. I don't think when it comes to peak superhero movies, how do we know that Spider-Man? I mean, we don't know. I don't. We have peak. We're comparing 2019 area, but we don't know what's in store for us or how people will respond to it. So I don't know if we okay. What is fourth thing? Would have made me see Matt Reeves' universe, Antonio. Which saying that you're not going to see Matt Reeves' universe? There's nothing saying that you're not going to see Matt Reeves' universe. And there's a lot. Remember when Matt Reeves is done and Matt Reeves has walked off and then you see Matt Reeves talking about the script of Batman. You see a picture of the script. That's why I just don't want. I just don't want to dive into this stuff because we really don't have a lot of information. I'll watch Christy on streaming. Yeah, that movie bombed, but they only released that movie to get her a shot at an Oscar, to be honest with you. I
on Sydney Sweeney all of a sudden, too. I'm not really clear on
I don't have a problem with Sydney Sweeney. I think she's one of those people that looks good and knows she looks good. She does something. She doesn't get the feel that she has to, like the eagle, the American eagle.
Something to do with that, like jeans ad or.
But you got people who are like, well, that's because she didn't feel the need to explain that to anybody. If you interpreted that as something else, that's a you thing. She did a Gene commercial, as far as I'm concerned.
Yeah, but then
I
she
don't have
got
a
like
problem.
who was it, the Ruby Rose, like really like took shots at her and about like you're a creep and you caused Christy to bomb, and
that's someone's opinion.
But that sounds, I don't know, it's like it's the, well, first of all, that seems kind of unprofessional to me.
Well, it is unprofessional.
Yeah, and then it's again just this wave of hate she's getting all of a sudden. It's just, what is this? Where is this coming from? What's it based on?
And I usually when stars start sniping at each other, I turn the other direction and run. The Batman made over 700 million in 45 days. They don't sound like Beaker done. Yeah, you know, and yeah, these movies are fine. When you make good movies, people go see them. And when you market the movies, and sometimes, okay, because caveat that sometimes the movies are good, but they get horribly marketed. Blade Runner 2049. I wish I could have like been, you know, somewhere near the marketing drawing board for that. And I'd have been like, no, what are you doing? No. Do you realize what you're doing here? Do you realize who you're selling this movie to? You need to tell people why they need to come see this movie. You know, we did it here locally, and I thought we were very effective locally, but there are some movies that are just horrible marketing campaigns. It's a damn shame.
Like Christy, because I didn't even know that just kind of dropped out of nowhere.
Okay, here's the thing about Christy. Your topic. That's it. That your topic is a legend, by the way, not to knock her. She's a legend. She's a pioneer. Now look at the audience that you're selling this to, unfortunately. But when you talk about in terms of combat sports type people, amongst the layman, not you, but the actual Johnny public, I doubt any of them knew who she was. I mean, and that, I'm not saying that as to disparage her because of what she did, but it's the same thing with the what's the Rock. Nobody knew who he was. Where's your audience? Where's your Joe Public audience from? Not your combat sports fanatics, but your average people that, you know, are connecting with these things. Nobody knew who that guy was. And I'm not saying that The Rock didn't do a great job in that movie, but you can't really, and no, these are the kind of movies that you put out there to get somebody nominated for Academy Award. And you'll make your money. They didn't spend a shit ton of money on Christie, and they didn't on Smashing Machine. I didn't think Smashing Machine was $100 million. Did it? I don't think
it cost like $50 million.
Yeah, and that had to rock in it. So you didn't really lose your ass on this, but yeah, a lot of the times when you, especially biopics are tough, man. Biopics have to be like, you know.
Well, I mean, Michael's going to do very well.
Look who he is. Freddie Mercury. Look who when you're talking about Ali, when you're talking about biopics, they usually don't do well if it's somebody that you got to Google.
Well, Ali, that actually, I remember that one actually didn't do too well.
I thought that did. I thought it creeped over. I know it got Academy Award. It got not Michael Mann. That was one of his few.
That bombed. That lost. Man.
Yeah. When month did that release? Because I thought it got released at a weird time too.
That was 01, December 20. It was Christmas Day 01. It was budget 107 to 118. Box office 87.7.
Yeah, that's the movie that you put out there for the prestige of the studio. So that studio can send out for your consideration things, because once you get when you're up there on that stage with that Oscar, that's they love that shit, dude. They love that shit. Will Smith got nominated for Academy Award. Michael Mann got nominated for Best Director. I think that got nominated. You have it in front of you. Let me know. I think that got nominated for Best Movie in a field that it had a real shot at winning, if I'm not correct.
It did not. No, it got best actor, best supporting actor, but it did not.
See, in that movie, and look if you pull up that Academy Award winning, that movie had a chance to win all that, and I don't know what it is about Michael Mann that just don't. He didn't get nominated for Heat, and that's a fucking shame. Heat's one of the best movies of a generation. He didn't get nominated, but then again, I'm not going to go into the Academy Award because we know.
I mean, did they even watch the damn thing?
And I have an understanding now about the Academy Awards that just that changes everything for me. How about that? But Will Smith, that was one of his ones I thought he could actually win. So, and Ali was a highly regarded movie, but biopics are tough, man. Biopics are tough. Biopics may be tough if you know who the person is. How much did Rocket Man make? I don't know anybody who doesn't know a song by Elton John. I don't know if Rocket Man did well. So yeah, it's movies is tough. And that's what I always gotta say, guys. These ideas have to be better than they've been. If you're talking about making a movie for a prestige of an Oscar, that's one thing, because your box office is not necessarily going to be reflective of your weekend opening. There are people who went and saw Slumdog Millionaire that didn't even know that movie existed until the night that it happened and thought, oh, that got a lot of buzz. Let's go. Moonlight, Atonement. Some of these movies that people don't realize until the Academy campaign happens, and people will go watch them on streaming. They'll go watch them on places. So Chrissy could make Sydney Sweeney, if she gets nominated, people might go see that movie. But that's what they're thinking. I don't think they're making some of these movies for that. Otherwise, if you were making it for blockbuster type money, you might release that movie in May, June, or July. But you released it you wanted that movie to be fresh in people's minds. December 31st is the cutoff date. What day? It is released on Christmas Day. So some of these movies, but you can't do that all the time, though. You'll lose your ass. But there are some movies that these studios are like, because that Academy Award, when you're a studio, it helps you get funding. It helps you in a lot of different ways.
Pamela Anderson's SLO, fourth. Okay.
By the way, is she gonna get? Did she qualify for this year, or was that for last year?
Was last year, girl? Yeah, I can tell you about what. I need to look that up.
I mean, she said, yeah, hey, listen, it's a fair. If you hate somebody, that's a fair. I don't know why. I've never had an issue with her. Yeah, I don't follow her moves. She's in rom-coms and shit.
She was just in New Naked Gun too. Yeah, I mean,
no, I'm talking about Sydney Sweeney. She's in like a movie with Glenn Powell, who's a draw, by the way.
Yeah. I can't. Like I don't get this hate wave she's getting sent.
It's the internet, dude. Yeah. You can hate people from the comfort of your own home. It's real easy.
Biopics are always in. Yeah. Well, especially because let's be real here. Biopics. They do also tend to have to make biopics. Like, what's the best way to put this? They do often have to, for the sake of telling a narratively streamlined story, they frequently have to supplement it with a fair amount of bullshit. Like, no biopic you've ever seen is 100% accurate. Some of them don't even get third accurate. I think the first biopic I ever saw, I remember seeing as a kid, was The Babe, about Babe Ruth.
Oh wow, dude! Yeah. I hadn't seen that. I'm a baseball guy.
You ever saw it with John Goodman? You never saw it with John Goodman as Babe Ruth?
Yeah. Wasn't really interested.
Yeah.
Dodger fan. I didn't even watch the Jackie Robinson movie until later on in life. So.
That didn't make money, but that did make a lot of money. But that also,
that's good. Queen. Queen is, you're talking about Freddie Mercury's voice is literally ingrained into pop culture. You didn't know, you go to a sporting event.
The voice
every time your team wins a champion.
We will rock you.
Yeah, Radio. There's a Queen is big. Yeah. Queen is big. Yeah.
By the way, that also that got into a little bit of hot water too for some of the I guess fictionalized elements about Freddy's life, and I know I always kind of looked at it like, I mean, they made that movie when they were making that movie, and I liked it quite a bit, but I think you could tell like they really like their end game was we want to get to the we want to get to Live Aid. Their goal was like the Live Aid is like is like the victory lap of that.
They made a movie. Brian May, who's a producer on that movie, made a movie that they knew would connect with people who knew what Queen was and appreciated what Queen was. They left out aspects of the movie, but they don't have to put that in there. It's not mandatory that they put everything that people think they should be in a movie. Just like Michael Jackson, they put whatever the fuck they want in it, and that you as a consumer can be like, well, I don't think that's reflective, and then don't go see it. Don't go see it. Not everybody views these people the same way. There are people, right or wrong, that don't give a fuck about Michael Jackson's controversies. They'll plop down the money immediately to go see him live if he were here today. There are people there are elements about Queen that just don't resonate or matter to Queen's public. Not everybody's going to view these people in the same way. So when you're telling the story, you have to make the connection and the decision what type of story you're going to make. And who's doing the story? Like Michael Jackson's family are the ones that were behind Michael. So you kind of know that there's going to be certain things that are not going to be portrayed. And
his nephew is playing him.
Yeah, his nephew's playing him. So it's that family telling you their version of the story. You have a job and a decision as a consumer to care, not care, or to buy a ticket. But a lot of people are going to go see that movie.
Just based on look at the view count on the trailer alone. And the trailer, it was even like
Michael Jackson is like he's folklore at this point. That's what Michael Jackson grew into. He's folklore. He's like Paul Bunyan. He's that big. That's going to be a tough one too. That's going to be a tough one. Who's telling the story?
I wasn't aware of that.
I wasn't either. But are they going to base it off the book? There's a book that's an excellent book about him called Heavier Than Heaven. That's going to be a tough one. That's going to be a tough one for Nirvana's fans,
especially with how it ends.
Because his fans are going to be like, they don't want to remember. A lot of fans, when it comes to Nirvana, and I agree. To be honest with you, they want to remember Kurt Cobain as the poet, as the musician. That's it. April 4th, 1994. They know. We all know it happened, obviously, but they want to remember him through his music, and they are allowed to do that. And the people telling the story about Kurt Cobain are allowed to tell their story through that lens. Now, somebody else can make a story that, that focuses on the heroin addiction, that focuses on the suicide, in and out of rehab. Somebody else can tell that story. But, the people who are, depending on which one gets made, a lot of times you're making these biopics because who's going to go see the Nirvana? It's going to be a lot of us Gen Xers. That's going to be like 80% Gen Xers because that's who he was. So it's going to be interesting to see that. Maybe not. Oh, okay. Who? Because, WWE is going to be real complicated. Because if you let them tell their story like the way they always tell their story,
like The Rock, he'd actually probably be the one that that would be the closest to like a squeaky clean kind of like one you could do.
But I really be honest with you, I have no use for a WWE biopic because it's going to be bullshit, and it's going to be their story to tell. But WWE, the biopic, and what WWE
I don't think anybody wants this.
I don't think would happen because in order, I think WWE would have a lot of creative say in that because you wouldn't have access to anybody within WWE unless they did it. Nick Khan and the people who own TKO are not going to. Well, you want to do a biopic talking about Vince McMahon? I don't think we want that. We don't even want to.
I don't think anybody wants one about Harvey Weinstein either.
You're going to get one.
Really? You think they're going to do one on Harvey Weinstein?
Yeah, eventually.
But that's like a true crime story, kind of like one. Is that that'd be like the people versus OJ? Yeah. Well, at least in one aspect, it's going to be sugarcoated.
Once again, that's their. They don't have to tell that part of the story. It's not a documentary or a biopic is not a court case. They don't have to prove Michael Jackson's case.
They had a. Because I'm looking at it right now, they spent a pretty good. The budget for Michael is 155 million. So they broke out the checkbook for that one.
They're gonna make
They're
that.
gonna make it back.
That will get a China release. That will get an Asia release. That will get an India
Do you think that
release.
might hit $1
Michael
billion?
Jackson,
Did you see that hitting $1 billion?
I don't know about that, but it's gonna make it's gonna make his
how about
money back.
800 million? How about like 800? Did you see 800?
I don't know. Well, no, I don't know because who's making it? Who's the studio behind it?
It's it's okay. It's like Lionsgate's. It's Lionsgate putting it out stateside, and then Universal's putting it out internationally.
So that's going to be on Peacock sooner than later. I don't think it'll be in theaters long enough to get that high. And plus, Peacock is going to be like, once something makes like that kind of money, Peacock's going to be like, well, fuck, let's get that to the streaming service because we want you here at Peacock. So, I like Impulse, Bart. I like the story that Impulse came through on better than I liked him. And when I speak of Impulse, I'm not talking about any other format but the Papers and Staples.
Well, that's of course Bart Allen, who's Impulse, and then he's Kid Flash, and then he's Main Flash.
Yeah, that kind of when they started doing that, I started lost touch with him. Even though I knew that was going to be the eventual progression, I like his story. In the mid '90s, I liked when they were at Flash 100. I liked his story that he came up through, and I like his lineage, the way they were doing it. Especially, it's just another aspect of Crisis that lets you know Crisis was bullshit. So yeah, I like Bart Allen. Gotta be wrapping it up.
Grogu spoke ill of the Sween. Yeah, again, it's the the same thing I've been like saying about like Gal Gadot.
She doesn't care.
Gal Gadot's getting all this hate because of what patch of dirt she was born on in the middle of the Middle Eastern conflict. I mean, that's the basis of it. And then, as far as I can tell, Sydney Sweeney's like,
look who's saying this stuff, though. I mean, do we really need? I mean, they don't need a reason to not like somebody. I mean, not a legitimate one, unless especially people who haven't really done anything directly to you. William, they do a whole biopic. They
had one in the works at one point, and then stuff happened.
Well, nobody wanted to know once the racism stuff came out. It's a hard sell.
Yeah.
Now, if you get one, it's gonna probably the one that they were working on was a little bit more favorable to him, but it's really hard to and once again, if you're WWE, that's a lot of footage, that's a lot of stuff that you have to contribute to. They'll do everything in their power to keep that movie from being made. Let's see, almost done.
I was actually thinking about, because we're talking about biopics, just thinking about recently, and maybe it's like this could like tie into Highlander. It's even though it's not like sci-fi or fantasy oriented. Do you ever thought about like maybe doing like a watch party of Bohemian Rhapsody?
Nah, I mean, I like the movie and I like Rami. I mean, I when I look at him and I'm like,
oh, he was so dead on as Freddie Mercury.
The rest of the movie, I'm not the big fan of. I mean, they told their story the way they wanted to, and I'm okay. But I didn't need the biopic to sway me how I feel about Queen. I think Freddie Mercury is the greatest vocalist to ever breathe on this planet. And I will say that slowly for the people who want to fight me on it. Freddie Mercury was the greatest vocalist, in my opinion, to ever exist in this planet called Earth. Period.
It's hard to argue against that.
There are some people who, and by the way, if you don't think so, that's okay. If you want to tell me Adele that's fine. It's how it connects with you. Freddie Mercury's voice connected to me on a early point in my life. I was 6 years old when I first heard that man's voice. All right, and I heard it in a movie that I was watching when I was 6 years old, 1980, called Flash Gordon. I'm talking 1980 stereo. We're not even talking the good Dolby shit that we got now. When you hear the beginning of Flash Gordon and you hear that thumping, because that's how it starts out. And I fell in love with it. That movie may not have even been that great. It was great for its time, but it was like I was watching a video unfold. And then you had 6 years later, 12-year-old me goes to see Highlander. another fucking opening that could have opened an opera. And I was a wrestling geek, so I recognized the Fabulous Freebirds walking down the ring. Queen Freddie Mercury, like I said, I don't have the adjectives to describe what his voice is. And it's not just him, by the way. Brian May, as good as Freddie Mercury's vocals are, Brian May made those vocals work because it was almost like when he would watch Brian May, and this is any musician, like Brian May doing the things that he could do with a guitar. He matched his voice to that, and vice versa. That's why replacement Queen singers are doomed from the outset. If you're trying to step into the footprint and not, and it's different when you're talking about AC/DC. It's different when you're talking about Van Halen, because when Van Halen, when Sammy Hagar stepped into David Lee Roth's shoes, the band changed. The band changed. The dynamic of the band changed. When somebody goes in to do Queen, you cannot change the dynamic of the band and that sound to fit anybody else. The public won't buy it, and it's not fair to that person. But Freddie Mercury was literally, like I said, the greatest vocalist to ever exist on planet Earth. That's my opinion. And that was a tough task for Rami Malek to have to play that man. So let's see. Hardy Boys movies will actually work because they haven't really been involved in a lot of. I mean, they've had their issues, DUIs, but they've been very public about that, and they've recovered from that. So I think. Let's see, George Lucas. Has never been one.
I don't think there has. No.
You're basically watching the making of Star Wars.
Yeah. William's favorite section of it is going to be the making of Howard the Duck.
Nah, he won't. I don't think he does it. Well, he doesn't really care. I mean, he was untouched. He's the only person in that process, that production process.
Made it out. Well, him and Leah
untouchable. Untouchable.
Him and Leah Thompson, they're the ones who made it out alive.
Well, and that one dude, the one guy that played the alien, but he Howard the Duck didn't kill his career. His allegations,
other stuff killed his career. You talk about
Jeffrey and some of the guys. Tim, what's the guy? The dude, movie that plays the scientist.
There's a reason why you don't know their names offhand.
Yeah, I went through therapy to forget about that movie. Didn't he win an Oscar?
Who was it? Oh, Tim Rose.
No, the guy who played the assistant.
Tim Robbins.
Tim Robbins. I believe Tim Robbins has an Oscar.
Yeah, he does.
Yeah, Tim Robbins has a hey. So not everybody took the tank. Yeah, he won from Mystic River.
But yeah, like a lot of these people, you never heard from again.
Which, by the way, man, that's a movie, boy. Yeah, he won he has Academy Award, a Critics' Choice Award, 3 Golden Globe Awards, Screen Actors Guild Award, and a BAFTA. And he won his Academy Award. So yeah, Tim, he listened.
Yeah, but the director, it's like we're
they disappeared. They disappeared. They got on a plane. They got on a plane and went to Hawaii before the box office returns, or even because they knew.
And that was back before social media was around with everyone.
Oh shit! He directed. I did not know that. He directed Dead Man Walking. I did not know that. Yeah, he won for Best Supporting Actor, Mystic River, which was that's a movie. Sean Penn won for that too, by the way. Sean Penn has 2 of them. He won for Milk, which is that's a hard movie for me to watch. Milk is a really hard. Knowing how that ends is a hard movie for me to watch. But let's see, Big Show. I don't know if anybody. I don't know if anybody go. I mean, Big Show. I mean, Andre the Giant. I mean, he could probably play Andre the Giant in the biopic, and I think that was and I know I'm in the minority. I have no use for those 2 characters, period, ever, anywhere. But I know I'm in the 1 percentile, and I know I'm gonna get it. I know it's happening. I'm resolved to know that I'm gonna get some silly shit, with those 2. By the way, though, the run that Booster Gold is going through with KO and Absolute DC and the things at Darkseid, this is the best that he's been as a character for me. This is the most readable Booster Gold has been, and he's so relevant in what's happening with this war that's about to happen. He's very relevant given his abilities, and I haven't seen Booster Gold that relevant in my life. I hate Booster Gold. I hate Blue Beetle. And every time I would see them pop up in my Justice League comic, it was time to stop buying that comic because I knew it was either about to get canceled or it was about to get stupid.
Richard Donner biopic would be awesome.
I mean, any director, yeah, but but then we're going to be talking about the Salkinds, and I don't want to hear any more about that.
Well, with him, it's like it's with him, it would be like it'd be so hard not to make it about the making of Superman.
Yeah, and when he's done other shit, I mean, I want to. If I hear Richard Donner, I'm talking Lethal Weapon. Goddammit.
Yeah, if you're not thinking it's not Superman, it's gonna be Lethal Weapon. Or
I don't care about the Donner cut.
In my family holiday season classic, Scrooged.
He made some shit, dude. He made some really crazy movies. He's all over the place with his creativity. He's like Joel Schumacher. Yeah. He's really like Joel Schumacher. Joel Schumacher could do any type of movie if you wanted him to. He didn't always hit it. The level of disappointment. I was Alien 3 disappointment when Batman and Robin came out. I was still on the high because Batman and Robin came out in 97, right? Dude, we were still in the glow of Batman Forever, which is one of the great comic book movies ever made. I don't care what anybody says. I'll die on that hill. And those people, that same creative force gave me Batman and Robin. And that just goes to show you it's hard to do movies. Even if you do a good one, there's no guarantee that you're going to come back and do everything you needed to do to make that a good movie. And I'm like, wow. It's like David Fincher. Alien 3. But Zodiac, and I'm sorry, guys, I'm going to say this here right now in the chat, not the chat, comment section. Yes, I've seen 7 a million times. I love that movie.
Again, movie theaters.
Stop it with the
creepy
popcorn.
There's still time.
I'm just going to start calling you Creepy Bad. I'm going to put that in your name, Creepy Bad. Anyway, much as I love 7, Zodiac is a better movie.
And that was his first movie after Alien 3, wasn't it? 7? David Fincher?
So.
Yeah.
I think
so that was a big comeback for him.
Zodiac and I love David Fincher. I love David Fincher. I need Mindhunters to come back. But I have seen 7 like a billion times because it's a great movie. It's got all time performances. You could make an argument that everybody in there is giving their best performances. But yeah, Zodiac is much better. Let's see. What was his filmography? He didn't do anything in between, right? He's heavily influenced by Ridley Scott. Good man. No, you're 100% right.
Yeah, he did his next one after Alien 3 was 7.
Now look at this guy's movie. Okay, Alien 3. That was your first shot. All right.
Well, he hates
it too.
Like,
yeah,
he's talked about like the studio is like breathing down his neck, and yeah.
7 is great. The game is great. All right, here's where I fall off a little bit. I'm not a fan of Fight Club. Movie's too long, and I don't care. It's quality. Don't get me wrong. It's not Howard the Duck. It's quality. It's just not for me. And that movie's. I remember that movie being forever. Decent, Curious Case of Benjamin Button. He got a lot of praise for that. The Social Network, accurate. The Girl with the Dragon Tattoo. I like the original better, but this was good. Gone Girl is a classic.
Oh, Gone Girl. I love Gone Girl.
Make is good. The Killer is on Netflix. It's good. The Richard Cliff Booth. Now he has that's just his film. Let's see, for 7, he actually got nominated. Wow, Brad Pitt. He's gotten a lot of people a lot of money, but yeah. But Zodiac 2007, his best movie, and it's better than 7 in my opinion.
Well, again, like I'm saying, movie theaters. We got 6-7 weeks left in 2015. There's still time. That third year release 7. That popcorn.
And the sick thing about that is Gwyneth Paltrow would be down for it. I'm sorry, that's going to be so poor taste.
She probably would.
I would buy one.
She would. I think let them like make a cast of her face going like, like that and put it inside the box.
I would have a feeling that wouldn't do as well as you think it would. I think that would get some people fired. And I think there would be a lot of them left over to the point where they wouldn't be worth a lot because people would be like, you have to buy that shit in secret.
Sometimes you gotta roll
I'd buy one and I'll put it right here.
Sometimes you gotta roll the dice on these things that seem like risky business decisions.
And I would be able to buy and sell a lot of them because there'd be a lot of them.
Nobody wants a Stroga. Nobody wants that.
I mean, 10 years from now, is anybody going to care about what he did besides you?
Well, again, that's kind of like it's also like it's hard to like make that something like that, not boil it down to either Buffy or Avengers. Like just the making of either one of those. It's
a lot of people who watch Buffy would believe it or not, would welcome him back with open hands. And if you're making it for that Firefly, you think Firefly people, or if there was and this is not going to happen, but if there were a project tomorrow announced and he was going to bring back the Browncoats, it would be successful. It would have a following. Now, I have my own opinion on that, but
like I said, too bad narrative. I don't think they buried it. I mean,
they made it for streaming. It's not burying it if it's their yard. They made it for streaming. Netflix doesn't make stuff for the theaters.
This one got into theaters.
Yeah, it got into theaters because of the Academy Award qualification, but it's their format.
Have you finished it yet?
I gotta be in the right frame of mind, and I have to have enough rest.
Yeah, it's from what you described, you're about a third of the way through it.
See, here's the thing though, the audience is gonna determine that, they had screenings out here and I didn't see it. I don't need to see Frankenstein on the big screen. Lord, my God, I would have been having to stand up and back at the theater. I mean, that's subjective, Forth. I mean, one of these days, things will swing down. People have a little bit more money to go see all these things in theater. But right now, there's a good chance your movie doesn't get made if it doesn't have a streaming a deposit to make money on it. It's just... Netflix didn't spend any money advertising this movie. That's the one thing that Netflix does not do. If you notice that, even if they give you a screening of it, they don't advertise. Netflix does not advertise their movies. This is their philosophy, is their library, is their advertisement. And every now and then when you start throwing in Squid Games, which I'm not a big fan of, but it's huge, Stranger Things, Frankenstein, all the things that keep people going, that's to them, it's not cost effective. They would rather just put that money into making a bunch of stuff. That's just, people can agree or disagree with that, but guess what? It's worked for them. It has worked for them. Dollhouse was kind of screwed by Fox. Fox pulled the rug under that. That was when Fox, and this is a lot of shows that got screwed by, not just Joss Whedon shows. There are a lot of shows. Once Fox got the baseball contract, they had the football contract, and they had the NASCAR contract at the same time. They did not give a fuck about anything else. The only things that they cared about was what aired with those sports and whatever aired on Sunday night. And that was The Simpsons, and at one time in Living Color, Married with Children, and X-Files. That's it. Anything else, if you look at the TV Guide or anything from that era of Fox in the mid to late 90s, it's football, college football in some cases, Major League Baseball, shit ton of NASCAR, and then they use that as a way to advertise everything else. They got tons of ad revenue from those contracts. Firefly got released out of order. Firefly was dead before it even came out, which is kind of shitty. Most people didn't even know Firefly was a thing until they saw Serenity. Terminator Counter Chronicles. They canceled that show. They tried their damnedest to cancel X-Files earlier on until people started writing in. This is before we had the internet. They were going to cancel X-Files after season 2. And man, it was like the earth rose up against them, and they kept that show on. And season 3 ended up being groundbreaking for not only at the network, and then they moved it to Sunday night. Fox was like, if it's not sports, there's 2 things we care about: Sunday night and sports. That's it. So those, Firefly got screwed. Buffy, remember the original network that had Buffy gave up on Buffy. And then it went to a different network and ended up being a hit for another 6 fucking years or whatever. And syndication rights. Angel I never watched. But I did watch enough Buffy. I mean, and I know the fan base for Buffy. Not all the fan base for Buffy feels the same way about Joss Whedon as we do. And they're the customer. So I'm not saying do it. I'm just saying don't be surprised if he's back at some capacity. Some people might not want to work with him. I'm pretty sure what's her face doesn't. I mean, sure, Michelle Gellar has enough pull, but he's still going to be an executive producer on it, whether you like it or not, because he created those versions of those characters.
Well, I
have no use for John. I have no use for Josh.
That's not even necessarily doesn't necessarily mean he's going to be on set. That's like Stan Lee was saying.
No, I don't think he'd be on set because I don't think Sarah Michelle wants to work with him. I think she's the one running this. But
well, not only that, but also like Charisma Carpenter and like
I don't think she's coming back for this, is she?
I mean, they could always like pull something out of their their.
But then again, look at emotions don't pay for shit. Emotion, how many times, dude? We could do a marathon. I'll never fucking work with that guy again. That guy's a piece of shit. That guy did this. That guy did that. You open up that suitcase, and those dollars start shining. That reflection of those dollars start shining in your eyeballs. You know, you got bills to pay. You got a lifestyle.
Yeah, but
to
I mean,
live.
again, Stan Lee wasn't like. I mean, Stan Lee like he's credited as an executive producer on everything up until he passed away on Marvel. He's like the extent of his like on set work was when he filmed the cameos.
But that's Stan Lee. Stan Lee's not Joss Whedon. Stan Lee was never actively involved in creating a motion picture. Right? He created the IP that the motion pictures were based on.
But that's what I'm saying. It's like that exemplifies the executive producer.
Yeah, but here's the thing, though. Once again,
that title is very nebulous in terms of like
he could come back as a producer.
The involvement is.
He will be back in the fray again. You're kidding yourself if you don't think he will eventually get back. You're letting a feeling about how you feel a guy. No, it's reality. People will work with people if the deal is right, if the money is right. It's been happening since before I was born. I know people on major movies, you see that they've been on several movies with each other. They fucking hate each other. People on shows fucking hate each other. I have throwing accusations at each other. But open up that suitcase with that money. And then you know what happens sometimes? You're at a different point in your life. Look at this bullshit that happened, and this is the only time I'm ever going to bring this up. It's the whole Millie Bobby Brown and the Hopper situation. They were supposed to have this big old thing. They worked well enough to make seasons 4 and 5 because these allegations were before season 4. People will do business. If the situation is right, you find a way to work with people, especially if enough time has passed. And you also got to gauge your audience. Does your audience give a shit about the transgressions? And that's 100% on the audience to make that decision. There are some people that you should probably never fucking see again. If you're going to see again, you're going to see them. There are people who have been involved in some really crazy allegations.
Fourth, there is no amount of money in the world that will ever make this happen. This is one that
you spell his name right if you're going to do it.
Yeah.
Look at Michael Jackson. Listen, whether you believe it or not, Michael Jackson, there were some serious. Michael Jackson had to go to court for those allegations. He had to settle out of court for those things. These are real things that are part of Michael Jackson's history. But tell you what, Tokyo Dome. If I could bring him back to life and say Michael Jackson is going to be performing at the Tokyo Dome next Saturday, all 42,000 seats would sell that day because the audience does not have to give a shit if they don't want to. Their connection to these people, these places, these things, these sports people is what they get out of it and what that person means to them. They're not obligated to give a shit about any of that stuff. I always bring up my favorite one, Deshaun Watson. If Deshaun Watson had been good at being a quarterback for the Browns, those people were cheering that guy when he stepped out before he got injured and started sucking. Deshaun Watson had 21 rape allegations that he had to settle out of court. He had an NFL investigation where he had to miss 8 games. But when he stepped on that court for the very first time, they weren't booing him. Kobe Bryant, my Lakers, was literally flying back from Colorado to LA on a helicopter because he was on trial for rape while he was leading the LA Lakers along with Shaq to the NBA Finals in 2004. You think the city of LA was booing him or not caring about him or caring about what was going on in Vail, Colorado? No. Their relationship with him, can you put that ball in that hoop? Can you run up and down that court? Can you get that ball into that end zone? Can you run, jump, and do whatever I paid to see you do? So just because we as fans think a certain way about a certain star or athlete or anything doesn't mean the vast majority of the people give a shit. These people will be back when there's a demand for them, whether I agree with it or not. There are some individuals I hope stay away, but I know the reality is that if there is the demand and if there's business to be done, the business will be done. You know, and I'm not the biggest fan of Josh Whedon for a whole lot of reasons, but I would be an absolute fucking fool to include the word never when it comes to his involvement in anything. Do I want it? Am I endorsing it? No. But I'm not the core audience. I'm not the person who would want to see him. I'm not the person who enjoys his product. And that's the only person that matters. If there's a demand, that person will be back.
Well, and here's the big blockade to that is like, because I know a lot of Whedon fans. You think Snyder fans are mad at Joss Whedon? Nobody's more pissed off at Joss Whedon than Joss Whedon.
So
fans.
we got that percentage is not going to sway anything.
Even
that percentage is not. You can't even hear. He doesn't need to win those people back. He can go completely without us, and it's not going to make any difference. There are tons of Buffy and there's still you know how long Firefly's been off the air? There's still Brown Coat conventions. So yeah, I mean, I am not condoning any of the filthy shit that these fucking people do. Do not get it twisted, guys. All I'm telling you is just because we think about it this way doesn't mean. Like I said, I got issues with Michael Jackson. I have issues with that. I think there was a lot that went on there. I'm not saying I'm not in the jury and anything else, but there was a lot. There was a pattern there that was very disturbing.
Well,
I might have a problem.
Favors. Like, I mean,
yeah.
He's like the Martin Bashir interview. Like
it was.
Even
there was another one with
What was the Chris?
It was a 60 minutes one. It was a 60
Chris
minute
Rock
one
had such a hilarious routine about that. Where he said like Ed Bradley tried his best.
It's bad. But once again, if Michael Jackson was resurrected today, and was going to come out and sell out the Legion Stadium, there wouldn't be a ticket left. People will fly up from all over the world to fill those seats. So don't get your opinion and your feelings confused with reality. These people will be back if there's business to be done and there's demand. It's just the free market system. That's how it works. The first one, the last one. The first one was, like I said, this is where those two movies, X-Men 2000, and then that movie were the two most.
Which he did work a little bit on he was like a script doctor on the first X-Men, and some lines, like the whole line, Wolverine to Cyclops, you're a dick. That was him. And I think another one he did was what happens to a toe when it's struck by lightning. That was him too.
All right, William, what is your reaction? I knew they were going to do that because they want him to have all the titles. They want him to have every title before he retired. So I knew they were going to do that. I'm ready for seeing his leave because he left for a while. I mean, I'm always ready for somebody to go into the next thing. You know?
Well, he's doing so much now with Peacemaker and Fast and Furious, and a guy. I'm amazed he has time to balance it out with pro wrestling. I mean,
all right.
And
he's done. He doesn't. He
and not only that, also
for a long time.
And not only that, but also Make a Wish. The Make a Wish Foundation. And he just seems like a really good dude.
Yeah, he's that kind of guy, and I'm glad to see him walk away from professional wrestling instead of having to limp away like a lot of people did. I'm always happy to see these people who look at the watch and say it's time for me to move on to things, and because a lot of the guys that I grew up watching are dead because they couldn't do it. It was all they knew how to do, or they're alive and their bodies are so busted up that they're on painkillers for the rest of their life. or they can't walk right, or they can't stand up right. They're wheeling around and things. Look at Lex Luger. I mean, Lex Luger, he posted a picture on his Instagram of him putting a star on a tree. That's so important because for the last 10, 15 years, he's been in a wheelchair with a lot of physical conditions that came from wrestling. So guys like John Cena and everybody, Dave Bautista, and these guys being able to walk away and have a new life, I'm happy for them. All right, guys, that's where we're going to leave it out. Please like, subscribe. I'm still collecting data on whether we should keep the vertical stream. It seems like a lot of people like it, though.
Really?
Especially now, but they're still working on it now because before it aired as 2 different streams with 2 different sets of numbers. So I'll have to see. And then when the stream stopped, you saw like 100 more viewers on one than the other. So right now, it doesn't hurt me to have it on here, as long as you guys know where to go. Then we're fine then. So all right. Tomorrow I will be doing later on this afternoon. I will be doing a afternoon stream or early, and then I'll probably jump on the Vodka stream. And then Saturday afternoon, we're going to do the second Spinal Tap movie. And then we will have a Saturday overnight live show this Saturday. And then Sunday, we got it. So we got a full weekend. You'll get tired of seeing me. Hopefully not in a bad way. But until later on this afternoon, you guys have a good start to your weekend. If you're in Southern California, I'm sorry right now because you're about to get 2 inches of rain. I'm getting more than I ever wanted. Be safe. I know with the fires and everything out there, there's landslides. There's a lot drought, landslides. That makes that's the perfect storm for flash floods. So watch out there in my hometown. And with that, for Brad, myself, the chat, thanks for being here. See you guys this weekend.
See you guys.